Third comeback, 1977. After the death of Mao Zedong, Feng and others began to rehabilitate the wrongs of the Cultural Revolution, and Deng Xiaoping finally returned to the central leadership. March 1977. Deng Xiaoping was elected vice chairman of the Central Committee and vice premier of the State Council at the third plenary session of the 10th Central Committee, regaining central power. July 1977. Deng Xiaoping was elected vice chairman of the CCP Central Committee and vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, regaining central leadership. 1978. In December 1978, at the third plenary session of the 11th Central Committee, Deng Xiaoping formally became China's actual top leader, promoting the reform and opening up policy. Reform and opening up. After the third plenary session of the 11th Central Committee in December 1978, Deng Xiaoping formally became China's actual top leader, promoting the reform and opening up policy. Challenges and solutions in reform and opening up. 1. Ideological constraints. Dismantling the planned economy system. Faced ideological resistance within the party and society, particularly those deeply influenced by the planned economy system. Promoting emancipating the mind. Deng Xiaoping emphasized emancipating the mind, encouraging cadres and the masses to abandon old thinking and accept new ideas, policies, and economic development methods. 2. Economic difficulties. Post-cultural revolution economic deterioration. The long-term planned economy and the destruction of the Cultural Revolution severely damaged China's economy, with industries in a stagnant state, backward agriculture, and impoverished rural areas. Formulating comprehensive reform plans. Deng Xiaoping proposed a series of comprehensive reform plans, focusing on rural reform, enterprise reform, price reform, and opening up policies, solving economic difficulties step by step. 3. Political struggles. Intra-party political struggles. Deng Xiaoping faced various political pressures and challenges within the party, as reform policies impacted vested interests, causing some conservative forces to resist and oppose. Promoting unity and stability. Deng Xiaoping emphasized intra-party unity and political stability, enhancing support and consensus for reform and ensuring policy continuity and execution. 4. International environment. Cold War context. The Cold War brought pressure and challenges to China's reform and opening up, especially in handling relations with the Soviet Union and Western countries. Balancing international relations. Deng Xiaoping adopted a flexible foreign policy, balancing relations with both the Soviet Union and Western countries, creating a favorable international environment for China's reform and opening up. Major reform and opening up policies. 1. Establishment of special economic zones. Deng Xiaoping established special economic zones in the coastal areas, such as Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shantou, and Xiamen, attracting foreign investment, technology, and management experience, becoming experimental fields for China's market economy. 2. Rural reform. Deng Xiaoping implemented the household contract responsibility system in rural areas, encouraging farmers to contract land for individual management, significantly improving agricultural productivity and farmers' income. 3. Opening up policy. Deng Xiaoping advocated in opening up policy, encouraging foreign investment and trade, gradually integrating China into the global economic system, promoting economic growth and technological progress. 4. Enterprise reform. Deng Xiaoping promoted the transformation of state-owned enterprises, increasing their autonomy, enhancing their market competitiveness, and encouraging the development of private and foreign-funded enterprises. 5. Political stability. Deng Xiaoping emphasized maintaining political stability, providing a stable environment for reform and opening up, and avoiding social unrest and political turmoil. Through these reform and opening up policies, China gradually transformed from a planned economy to a socialist market economy, achieving remarkable economic growth and modernization. Achievements. 1. Economic growth. Under Deng Xiaoping's leadership, China maintained sustained high economic growth, becoming the world's second-largest economy. 2. Improved living standards. The reform and opening up policies significantly improved the living standards of the Chinese people, with incomes and quality of life increasing significantly, and poverty greatly reduced. 3. Technological advancement. Deng Xiaoping's policies promoted technological progress and industrial upgrading, improving China's technological and innovation capabilities. 4. Enhanced international influence. Deng Xiaoping's opening up policies integrated China into the global economy, increasing its influence in international affairs and economic globalization. 5. Market economy. Deng Xiaoping's reform policies established a socialist market economy in China, promoting economic dynamism and competitiveness. Tiananmen incident and corruption issues. In the late 1980s, corruption became a prominent problem in China. The Tiananmen incident occurred in 1989, a large-scale student movement demanding democracy and anti-corruption, which was eventually suppressed by the government. This incident severely damaged Deng Xiaoping's image and the credibility of reform and opening up, temporarily stalling the reform process. During the Tiananmen incident, corruption within the government and the CCP led to widespread dissatisfaction and protests among the public. Among the notable corruption cases was Deng Xiaoping's son, Deng Pufang, who was involved in profiteering and accumulating wealth through improper means, which drew public ire. Corruption within the government and the CCP was not limited to individual cases but had become systemic, with many officials taking advantage of their positions for personal gain. The accumulation of corruption cases intensified social discontent, leading to demands for political reform and anti-corruption measures. In response to the Tiananmen incident, Deng Xiaoping and other central leaders adopted a hardline approach, using military force to suppress the protests. This crackdown resulted in significant casualties and intensified domestic and international criticism of the Chinese government. Southern tour and revival of reforms. Despite the Tiananmen incident's impact, Deng Xiaoping did not abandon the reform and opening up policies. In 1992, during his southern tour, Deng Xiaoping reaffirmed the importance of reform and opening up, reigniting the enthusiasm for economic development. Southern tour. Deng Xiaoping visited southern China, delivering speeches emphasizing the need to persist in reform and opening up, regardless of opposition and difficulties. Policy reinforcement. After the southern tour, the Chinese government accelerated the pace of economic reform, further opening up to foreign investment and deepening market-oriented reforms, leading to a new round of economic growth. Legacy. Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up policies profoundly changed China, transforming it from a poor and backward country into a rapidly growing economic powerhouse. His achievements include sustained high economic growth, significant improvements in living standards, technological advancements, and increased international influence. Deng Xiaoping is widely regarded as the principal architect of China's reform and opening up, and his policies laid the foundation for China's modernization and rise as a major global power. Despite controversies such as the Tiananmen incident, Deng Xiaoping's legacy remains highly influential in shaping China's development trajectory and its approach to governance and economic management.